All right, let's start talking about a sensor and a dedicated sensor that's going to be installed on its own machine. Again, that's going to be separated from the hub during the installation. Now, why would you want to do this? One concept around this would be that maybe you have a hub on maybe the corporate VLAN, and then you have separate VLANs throughout the organization that maybe you need a separate sensor on that machine, on that VLAN to be able to scan it. Concept might be that cross VLAN scanning may be disabled, may not be allowed. So installing a dedicated a dedicated sensor on that VLAN would be the best way. All you would need at that point is just port 59525, which communicates between the hub and the sensor. All you would need is have that in place. I start thinking about firewall rules and so forth with ACLs that allow that communication, ACLs, access control lists, that allow that application of just that one server or those two servers to communicate together. Another reason around this too might be that you have a closed off VLAN that does not have access to the internet, and therefore a hub installed there, which needs to have internet access, would not work. And so you have the hub is on a separate VLAN where you have a sensor over here that is doing the discovery and actions there and sending its information over. Those are some of some examples that you might have. This can expand very, very big into multiple locations, like worldwide locations, maybe different regions. At some point, though, when you start talking about that complexity where you have multiple regions, let's say Europe versus United States versus maybe Asian countries, you may want to actually have a separate deployment, a full hub and sensor in each of these locations, and they all then come and federated together up in the Lansweeper site. But ultimately, the concept that I'm kind of thinking about right now is internally on your network, or maybe in your immediate vicinity, you have a need to have a separate sensor. So one of the things that we need to kind of think about, very similar to that hub, is that sensor does need to install on a Linux, Windows, or Mac machine. The Linux and Mac is not going to be able to do the discovery, as we discussed earlier. Not going to be able to do that discovery of those Windows assets. It will see those assets. It will scan and discover them on the network. It'll do that passive listening technology with asset radar or network visibility, where it's packet inspection. It gets what it can and learns what it can about it, and then it creates that asset. But ultimately, it's not going to be able to do that credential deep scan. So if you have a lot of Windows machines, I would install a sensor on a specific Windows asset server, so that way you can get those machines. Let's talk a little bit about, one thing in my notes here that I have is port 443, making sure that is available to be able to communicate in and out. One thing that is really important as I look at this, here in the community, I have an article. What I've done is we have cloud requirement is probably the best way to look for this. You can find the cloud requirements, and so you can see all the different types of European and United States based requirements for the cloud to be able to communicate for that hub. This is something that is not necessary exactly for the sensor, but it is something just to kind of keep in mind. So we start talking about that sensor, what needs to be communicated. Do I need to have a hub on that same VLAN or in that same region? These are some of that web access that you would need access to. So just kind of keep that in mind as we're going through this. The next thing I want to talk about is very similar to the hub and the compute. Those specs are slightly different because the sensor is doing a lot of the work of actually the sensing and that activity. Though the hub is the main workhorse that's doing the majority of the communications, that sensor still also requires a lot of compute. So that same KB article that we had before, where we were talking about the different sensors and their requirements, I come down here a little ways, and it's not as complex, you might say, as the hub requirements, because you have a single sensor. We have got the minimum requirements and the recommended. I'd honestly just go with those recommended. It gives you a little bit of wiggle room, gives you ability to expand. But as you saw before in that hub, when we were in the hub video, when we looked at the performance of that hub, it really, the RAM was getting hit, but the CPU really wasn't. So you could probably get by with maybe a single core and 4 gigs of RAM. Kind of play with this a little bit and try it out, do some testing before you really push this out globally or to the whole production. So let's talk a little bit about the asset counts. When we have an asset count, of let's say thousands of assets, one of the questions we often get is how many assets can you scan with one single sensor? The answer to this question is it depends. And that's a hard question to answer because depending on how you have Lansweeper configured. If you're scanning, let's make it crazy. You're scanning every IP range every 30 minutes. You're going to need a lot more sensors than just a single sensor. If you've got multiple VLANs and you're scanning every 30 minutes, those are going to start piling up on each other. They're not going to be able to complete in time, and you're going to have a big backlog. And so you're going to need to have more sensors. But let's just say that you're scanning each VLAN, each IP range, each individual target one time a day. And the best way to think about this is a roughly 5,000 assets per sensor. The reason around that is that it gives time throughout the day. You can schedule your config, and we're going to talk more about this, by the way, when we're talking about configuring your Lansweeper installation. But when you start talking about configuring your scan targets, you can schedule those and scatter those throughout the day to allow the scan targets to complete, to go through their process and complete before the next one starts. So you're looking at really around 5,000 assets per sensor is a good target. And when we start talking about individual scan targets, /22 is typically a good one. So you're talking, let's say 1,000 IP ranges, maybe 2,000 IP ranges at a time. I feel like 2,000 is a little high. So, I like to either do /24, /22, something like that to keep that around the 1,000 IPs at a time per scan target. Just seems to work best where you get the results per each scan fairly quickly that way. Again, talking about, I keep seeing in my notes here, keep talking about performance. The key here is making sure that when you're doing these scans to be able to look in that scanning activity and see what's going on. That scanning activity, you're going to be finding it here when we're looking at in my lab that I've already got built here. I'm going to go into my scanning queue. And if I have a scanning queue that is really, really long and you have a really long scan queue, this is going to be the impact. The hub is where you can find this information. And don't forget, you also have a scan queue for the OT sensor as well, if you have an OT environment or an OT sensor that is deployed. So kind of watch those queues. Watch that based off of performance. A lot of this we're going to talk more detail when we start talking about performance of their overall and the health check of an overall Lansweeper deployment.